All right, guys, how's it going? So I've just published an episode of the Cop Talk podcast. It is a bonus private episode for those of you that support the podcast patrons. But it's also available if you're a Cop Talk VIP member, because some of you prefer to be on there. If you are a Cop Talk TV channel member here, on that tier, you get it on here. And if you subscribe to @Cop Talk on X, you get it on there. We have all these different platforms because some people like X, some people like YouTube, some people just want to be old school and be on the text-only members community. Do you know what I mean? So it's out there. It's on Patreon, whichever platform you prefer. Then it's available to you. So if you are a member on here, you should be able to go to the community tag and have access to that. All right, guys. So we are going to be talking about Jurgen Klopp's decision to leave Liverpool Football Club. Not a surprise. As you know, it's all that everyone's talking about at the moment and all we seem to be talking about. Now, you'll remember that at the press conference for Jurgen, Jurgen Klopp brought up Jose Enrique, right? Because Jose Enrique basically called out, the owners, and said, nah, this is to do with the owners. Suggesting that their ownership was responsible for Jurgen Klopp's decision to leave Liverpool. If you can hear noise around me, it's my dog Remy. And I've got to wear these reflective glasses because the phone's bright. I know I sound like a right wuss, but I've been having a nightmare with my eyes. Right, listen. So what he originally said, Jose, let's have a look. This terrible website to navigate at this one at the moment. So many adverts. Okay, he said last week, Jose Enrique said last week, I think something happened. I have my own opinion about it. I think it has to do with the spending and the owners. I think he has got tired of it, to keep fighting every single year to sign the players that he deserves in the team. I think he's just got tired of that. That's a personal opinion. Obviously, he's giving his opinion, and that's a real one. But from my side, and seeing it from a former player as well, it's just every year he needs to do miracles to win stuff with these players. Obviously, they have a great team this year to win stuff. But again, this January transfer window, the team needs something, and the owners just don't give it. I really believe they need one or two players, and he does as well, even if he doesn't say so. So I think he's just tired of it. I think he believes it's going to be a good season, and then after that, he leaves as a king. That's my opinion from the outside. I'm not sure if anyone is thinking like me, but it's very sad. And first thoughts, I was mad. Not about him, but the owners. I was really, really mad about it. Now, Jose Enrique, when he was at Liverpool, he was one of them players that really used to, we used to take the piss out of me somewhat terribly on here. Not so much for his, his playing ability, but just for the way that he behaved off the pitch. Excuse me. Go away, please. Go away. Go away. Keep going. Keep walking. And keep walking. He'll probably start barking now. You know what he's like. He's been laid down while I've been working on the computers behind me, but as soon as I start talking to you guys, he wants to get involved. Right, Jose Enrique, he, with his selfie stick, and do you remember we just got beat by Man United or something like that, and he was in first class, business class on a flight within a few hours of the game with his selfie stick with his bird, do you remember? And I was raging. And he's one of those players like Ryan Babel that since he's not, in the game or not involved with Liverpool anymore, those two players, former players, really do latch on to Liverpool Football Club. Hey, I used to play for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean? They really do. I'm not having a dig at him. Right? I'm just telling you, if you don't follow him or know, why has he suddenly got an opinion? To be honest and to be fair, Jose Enrique has got an opinion on everything. He really does try to be on board with the fans. That's another thing. He really does interact with the fans, which is nice. He's level. He comes across as level-headed. But you know what? What he's saying, I think he's fucking right, to be honest with you. I really do. And at least he's got the bottle to say it. So, because, when you say a bottle to say it, you might think, well, what's so brave about that? Do you know? Sorry. We had this for years with Rodders, do you remember? Bet! Got his own settee over there. Can Anyway, he's jumped on that. Down. What Karen was saying. What's brave about it is if you're a former Liverpool player and you speak out against the owners or, the hierarchy or whatever, you're closing the door on many opportunities at Liverpool Football Club. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, don't you? He's not going to be offered an ambassador's position at Liverpool Football Club, is he, by the owners, is what I'm saying. And that's a lot of money, And it's in their interest to have as many ambassadors as possible. So someone like, Jose Enrique, he's all right, to be honest. Like some of these players are that far up their own arse. They don't talk to the fans. They're not that arse. Never reply to comments. Jose does. And I like what he says, and I think there's some truth in it. So at the press conference, Klopp responded, which I thought was very strange. I really did think it was very strange. And you've got to imagine that when there's a press conference, you have a press officer that says, look, don't mention this, right? But there's also this. It would help if you can mention that. Or don't mention that, right? A full-on briefing before every press conference. Don't just think that Jurgen just goes in and says everything he wants to say or doesn't. This is the whole thing. He's employed by the club, right? And, if you've got a good relationship with the press officer and your club and your employees, which Jurgen appears to have, he might be frustrated with things going on, but that doesn't mean that he can't be professional. He could just turn around and go, right, yeah, no problems, yeah. And we'd all do it, whatever, line of work we're in, right? Klopp responded at that press conference, as you will have seen. He said, I saw Jose Enrique, who I like a lot, say it is about FSG. I can tell you absolutely FSG has nothing to do with it. It would be easy in this job to blame the owners and say FSG should spend more. Was I always happy with that? The lack of spending? No. But they built 2 stands. This acts as centre for the next 40 to 50 years. We did it properly, the LFC way, which I love. That we didn't win more Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues is not down to money. I'm sorry, Hugh. This is where he lets me down sometimes. That we got 97 points and 94 points and didn't win the league or didn't win another Champions League wasn't down to signing one player. If you want to blame anyone, blame me. Having a team that could do all that was exceptional. And I feel for Klopp sometimes when he speaks like that. I blame me. You know what I mean? No, we're not going to blame you, Jurgen. You fucking worked wonders, my friend. But he is very cooperative with the owners. He's very like the old school, even when you're aged. When you see a politician, senior politician, have been up to no good with some secretary, and then the wife comes out and stands next to him and goes, "We're very happy," and they're holding hands. "We're very happy together. We love each other, don't we, darling?" And then they go behind closed doors, and what goes on then is maybe a different thing to what you're seeing as the public, right? This was what I think Jurgen Klopp has done for a long time with FSG. So, Klopp responded and name-checked Jose Enrique at that press conference, right? So that a lot of people respond to Jose Enrique saying, "Boss says you're talking shit, pal," all right? So Jose's come back. And yeah, I find it very interesting. I really do. Okay, let's get to the quotes. We don't need to worry about the article. So Jose's latest suggestion, he's not having it. He don't believe the boss, right? You know what I mean? And we're allowed to say that, can't we? We don't believe you. You're chatting shit. Still love you, but don't believe you. I was out with a bird last night, and I was up all night long. Roger, yeah, all right, dude. Rest it, lads. Yeah, all right, dude. Yeah, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Right? So, Jose said, "I think there are many reasons why he's leaving, but they are reasons that we will probably never find out." 83% in a poll on a live stream said that they think there are other reasons that we don't know about. "Even if he doesn't agree with me, I still think and believe the owners have a lot to do with it. You can't renew your contract and suddenly leave the club. It doesn't make any sense. There has to be more to it." Who can disagree with that? "It has to be something with the owners. He must be tired of having to pull off miracles all the time. He always has to do so much more than Man City and even Arsenal now to get what he wants in the transfer window. You can't do that. You can't rubbish him, guys. I don't think he's just tired generally. Why would you renew your contract a few months ago if you're tired? It doesn't make sense. Or get on that Peloton bike as well, do you know what I mean? He weren't tired then, was he? I've lost it. It doesn't make sense. Right, here we go. The fact that this has happened in the middle of the transfer window too is worth discussing. Klopp had probably had another window talking about players that he needs to compete, because at the moment they're fighting in every competition, and once again the club haven't brought anyone in. Talking about timings, we know there's a video on here and on the members' website and all over wherever the fuck it is that you support me, called September Whispers. You should go and watch it, and then you should watch December Whispers as well, right? Because there were suggestions a couple of weeks into September that the boss had had enough. That just follows a transfer window, right? And then we discussed Bellingham, haven't we, on here the last couple of days as well, as being a possibility. The phone incident, and all that, you know what I mean? And then if you think to November, these are all key months, right? So transfer window obviously finished at the end of August. I assume from memory, August 31st, might have been September 1st. We're usually August 31st or something, my mum's birthday. Anniversary's coming up with it next week, so that'll be cheery. The September Whispers video was the second or third week of September, just after the window closed. Could explain why Klopp was fed up. I don't know, I'm speculating. November was when he's supposed to have told the club that he wasn't interested. Now, if you remember rightly, November, there was a finance meeting. I'm sure it was November, a finance meeting. Do you remember? Sorry, I feel like I said remember a load of times then. The Fluminense stuff was going on. The boy George was going out there, wanting to Brazil. Was it with Mike Gordon? I can't remember. Flash Gordon, Hulk Hogan, one of them. Mike Gordon, I think. But then one of them couldn't get back. There was logistical problems getting them back for the finance meeting. All the stuff at the same time. The trip was cancelled in the end. Didn't happen. But the finance meeting did happen. November. Did Klopp say after that finance meeting, which at a finance meeting would have been discussing, transfer summit to discuss the January window, has something gone there again? Another, the straw that broke the camel's back in November. Is he do you know what, I just can't fucking do this shit anymore? Do you know what I mean? And then in December, 19th of December, we had the El Nacional reports in Spain saying that Klopp was managing his exit from Liverpool. It was going well. And Barcelona, I do believe that article, that Barcelona's Laporta was in Klopp's ear. Maybe Klopp never once considered Barcelona, but I think that Klopp's agent, my opinion, only an opinion, is that Klopp's agent fed back to Barcelona, look, Jurgen's not going to be available next year because he's leaving Liverpool, right? He's leaving Liverpool, but he's taking time out. And I think that's how the press picked it up, El Nacional, with the Klopp's leaving Liverpool, he's been managed well, blah, blah, blah. And Barcelona are going to try and push, even if they couldn't. I don't know if you're with this. You've got to pay attention to the videos. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, all these little things seem to fall into place. Every single thing I've said in this video falls into place. Right. He also says they lost Joel Matip to injury, but instead of signing another defender, they've had to play Jarrell Quansah. I think there's more to it, and that's just my opinion. Obviously, he says something different, and he knows his own reasons. But for me, but for him to leave now is strange, and that's basically it. So, just to recap, Jose Enrique, when the news came out, says I don't believe it. I don't believe this. I think the owners are responsible for this. The boss can't work under these conditions. I mean, he's not connected to Liverpool Football Club directly anymore, but he's still a former professional. He knows what goes on in these clubs, you know what I mean? And he knows these owners, that is for sure. So he's like, no, I'm not having it. Basically implying that Klopp's just going along, putting a public, yeah, everything's all right, yeah, no problems, yeah, don't want to anger anyone or do anything damaging to the club. Because let's face it, if Klopp came out and went, I'm sick of this shower, they'd be fucking hell on. The season would be all over. There'd be anarchy, all right? So the boss ain't going to do that, is he? It's like going back to the politician cheating on his wife. The boss stood outside. Imagine if she come outside and went, he's a fucking... The drama that would come from that, yeah? Ruin his career. Definitely break up the marriage or whatever. There's all sorts of things. So you keep some stuff quiet, don't you? Right? And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I want to buy into it and believe it. And if you remember when we started all of this, when the news came out, I was like, to be honest with you, maybe he's just knackered. But I do think he's tired. But I do think it's a contributing factor. I do believe the ownership. I absolutely do believe the owners, you can't prove it, are responsible for his decision to quit at the moment. In saying that, if he'd have had best owners, there's no guarantees that he wouldn't have been stressed under better owners, in our eyes. I'll rephrase. If there'd have been other owners Maybe he would have stayed at the club longer, but they could have been worse. Maybe he would have left soon. We don't know. It doesn't matter in that sense, but I'm glad Jose Enrique is speaking up. It's up to you individually whether you choose to believe him or go down his way of thinking. I absolutely do. And, for transparency, you know that I'm not an FSG. I'm not FSG fans. I don't like them. Never liked them since before they took the club. I went out to Boston, as you know, came back, managed expectations. I did all that right at the very beginning of their ownership. And I went, I don't like these people, guys. And what I'm hearing about them is not good. Right? But I'm not FSG. I'm not going to walk around with a placard. I can see the good things they've done. But, we talk about new training centres, new stands and all that. All the things that they've done are all things that benefit them in the long run, I think. Anyway, on their asset, and they're businessmen. So, are we supposed to be shocked by that? Do you know what I mean? But I think that they've wasted and held back one of the greatest managers that could have been in the world, in world football. And I think that if he'd have had proper backing from them, that we would have won a lot more. I do. And I can't stand these fans that come out and go, we won everything under them. Oh, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. There's times when the manager, you have to sell those two poxy fucking fringe players so that he can go and buy the player that he wants, which was Marlon or whatever at the time, for like 26 million or something. They couldn't even find that. Every club works to a budget. But over the years, there are times when, someone steps right. Hey, let me make an example of this, right? When Liverpool, I can't remember. My memory's bad, right? Okay. One of you will know in the comment section, read the comment section. But if I remember rightly, I can't remember which one of these two players it was. Liverpool, the budget, you have a budget, you stick to it, whatever. But the former Liverpool owner and chairman, David Moores, personally funded, I think it was through way of loan or whatever, but he still put the money forward to make it happen, right? Doesn't mean he was out of pocket. I can't remember. It's a long time ago. It was either the Dirk Kuyt transfer or the Ryan Babel transfer. I can't remember. I genuinely don't know. I can't remember. But it was the Liverpool chairman made sure it happened. And that was what Liverpool Football Club used to be like over the years, right? So you had the old board. You didn't have a budget as such. The manager told the chief executive what he wanted. He reported to the chief executive, reported to the board. The board oohed and ahed, smoked some cigars and pipes. Can we do it? Yeah, this is the Liverpool manager. This is the manager of Liverpool Football Club. Of course we can fucking do it. We're going to find it for him, right? And that was the mentality of our great football club, right? Times change. I get it. Many, David Moore, some people will say, well, it's his fault, but we sold to George Gillette and Tom Hicks, right? Do you know what I mean? But if you're a backseat chairman, you don't like the publicity, you're supposed to have a shit chief executive, and Rick Parry was more of an accountant. But David Moore's made one of them signings happen outside of the normal budget, and I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Ryan Babel. Anyway, the point is, when he was having to sell Shaqiri and Shaqiri and Origi. I think it was Shaqiri and Origi. Do you remember? He wanted Marlon. I'm sure it was Marlon. I always ask Adam Naylor. I always forget. AKM. Fuck off, Adam. They couldn't even give him 26 million or whatever it was for a player our manager wanted. And many of us were up in arms about this, but then the top Reds are out going, it's their responsibility, them fuckers, because they don't keep the pressure on. And all these little changes, all these different things. Timo Werner, it's all right saying with hindsight, glad we didn't get him. The point was, our manager wanted him, and how his career might have been under Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool may have been different to how it was elsewhere. Manager phoning him up, look, we're not pursuing you. Why? It's not me. It's not my decision. The money is just not there to make it happen. All right? So, yes, there has to be cut-off points. Is Jurgen Klopp a flamboyant manager? I want this and I want that. Is he one of them that goes around wanting this, that all the time? No. So when he steps up and goes, I really want this player, and they can't find 50 million or they can't find 26 million, and they say, you've got to sell them two players first, that's good, yeah. All right, Jurgen, we'll give you the money. but you must get them. We need to get them out, all right, at some point, even if it's the next window, whatever. They definitely contributed to Jurgen Klopp's decision to leave the club. I will never believe any differently, and I do believe something else will come out. I know many of you want to go down the conspiracy route to do with the television documentary. I don't personally believe that, although, you know what, the more I think about it, I would never rule anything out. Contributing factors, the way the game's changes, invasion of privacy, etc., so on. However, do you really think, the bit that I would throw in there is, do you really think the owners would risk making a few bob from a TV documentary and lose their main asset that's made them billions? It wouldn't make sense. They're not stupid. Do you know what I mean? So, you can say, well, Jurgen, quotes about Jurgen saying, yeah, it'd be very good for the fans to see. But when you look at those quotes on the article, when they announced that TV doc, that weren't Jurgen Klopp speaking. You can look at the quotes and you just know a press officer has wrote that up and said, Jurgen, that's what we're going with. And he's gone, aye, all right. You can sell that a million, easy. I'm not saying that, Jurgen's happy with it or unhappy with it. But we're sidetracking anyway. I think the owners are completely responsible for this. I really do. And I'm glad that someone like Jose Enrique has spoken up. And this is a player that I didn't really have much time for, really. Do you know what I mean? He was one of them players. He just didn't, he's just always fucking around and that. Do you remember? There's something to do with him skateboarding or something like that when he was injured or coming back from an injury. Do you remember? And where he like captured skateboarding or on his social media on a skateboard outside his house or something like that, and we were all like, the fuck's he doing? It might not have been him, it could have been another player that was another it might have been Moreno, another player that was with him, or they were both doing it. I can't remember, irrelevant, but the point is, at the time, he was pissing me off and many fans off, but he's kind of like that likeable fucking guy, do you know what I mean? Like, pictures of him with a fucking dolphin and all that, and that one when he was having an operation or at dentist or something, I can't remember, but he's kind of like a likeable figure, and I will give, whether he's right or wrong, whether you want to entertain what he says at all, I would say that you should say, do you know what, fair play to you for speaking up, because when you do speak up, you can be frozen out of many things, and it can be simple things like, reunions, the Liverpool Players Association, the things that the old boys do and that. You only need the owners to go, we don't want him in here. And that's it, you're out. So then, this, if you think about it, this player is aligning himself more with the fans, right? Because he's active on social media. And he's basically given up the opportunity of a few quid somewhere. And instead he's doing stuff with the fans, But at the same time, I'm still aware that he's clinging on to his association with the club like Ryan Babel does, Too little, too late, I don't know. Anyway, but I respect what he said. And I did find it odd that Jurgen came out and mentioned that particular quote. Some of you have commented in the video, and in the comments and on my live stream, saying, do you not think it's a bit odd how the Liverpool clique of journalists, and have all gone in hard, as did Jurgen Klopp at that press conference, referencing something a former player said, have gone in hard with that. It's nothing to do with FSG. They really are like pointing this out. Maybe that's because it's true, right? Maybe that is a true message. You could say, well, maybe because it's the fucking truth, Duncan. I get called Duncan when I'm in trouble, by the way. Usually it's Dunk. You know what I mean? Dunk to you guys, yeah? But when I'm in trouble, like when my mum was alive, Duncan! Fuck you. Do you know what I mean? Whether I was 6 or fucking 36. Right. So that's my thoughts. A fair play to Buggerlugs for mixing it up a little bit. And if you are someone that's questioning all of this, I really do think you should quote Jose. I think you should quote him and make people aware of what he's saying. So if you have got a Twitter account and you are passionate about this, for example, or Facebook or wherever you are, some people might not be aware of what he's saying. So I think you should say, it was interesting what Jose had to say. You don't have to be a shit stirrer and say, look, he must be right. Just say, it's interesting what Jose had to say. He's adamant. The manager's come back and said, no, Jose, you're wrong. I like you and all that, but you're wrong. And he didn't go, oh, all right then, sorry. He went, nah, Jurgen, I still don't fucking believe you, right? So this is the thing. We've got to take all these different opinions, whether we agree with them, whether we disagree with them, try and patch it all together. It was pointed out to me the other day on here. Someone says in the comments, and a couple of you said, Dunk, Your videos over the last 9 months, maybe 6 months, 9 months, you were saying in many of your videos, at the end of them, you were sat there going, I don't know what it is, guys. I don't know what it is. Something's not fucking right. Something's not right. And those of you that have watched my videos for a long time know that's what I was doing. Now, I can't claim to know what was going on back then now, because at the time I was saying, I don't know what it is. There's something not right, guys. Do you remember? And at the time, I was saying, I don't know what it is, guys, but maybe 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now, down the line, we'll look back and go, that was it. And how many times does that happen when we talk about these things? And that's the whole point of my YouTube channel with you guys and the members' website and etc., is to bounce things off each other. That's why it's so important that you comment your ideas, your thoughts, because sometimes you guys say something, I go, yeah, that's fucking it. Sometimes people just come in here, it doesn't matter. Someone left a comment saying it doesn't matter when the press conference, the announcement was recorded by Jurgen Klopp that he was leaving Liverpool. It really does matter. It doesn't matter in the terms of, well, he's leaving, so what does it fucking matter when he recorded it? But we're a little bit more deeper than that. It matters because if, as when we zoomed in on the watch, Vivek, my man, right, and then looked up the exact watch to see the placement of the month and day, if it was 11:01, which we have it zoomed in like fucking immaculately, right? If it was filmed 11:01 as an example, no confirmation of that, then that would mean they sat on that for 2 weeks. So what, Chubbs? Well, why did they release it now? That would, to me, would suggest progress or stepping up of something. Either they've achieved something, and it's going to come out, or they're going to now ramp up the attempts to find a new manager, and it's going to leak, so we need to get it out, Jurgen. Do you know what I mean? It's like before the Queen died, God bless her, right? They had all the stuff ready to go for years, didn't they? So that the minute that she did pop her clogs, it was all there ready to go live. So they did that video with Jurgen, even at the press conference. You know, Hulk Hogan, Billy Hogan, he says, didn't he? He went, well, like I was saying to Jurgen, you know, in that video the other day, and then he went, I mean yesterday. Actually, he didn't say yesterday. He said, I mean last night or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So there was definitely, it does matter. All of these things matter. Jose Enrique's opinion matters. And I never thought I'd say that to you guys. But it matters because he's throwing something into the conversation and he is challenging, albeit sensibly and politely. He's going against the narrative. And there'll be many, many, many players that won't dare do that for obvious reasons. So I'll take my hat off to Jose Enrique and that, even if he is mental. I was going to say nutcase. I don't know if you noticed I said mental. I went from nutcase to mental. Mental. So yeah, I'll take my hat off to the lad. Yeah, fucking fair play. And the bit, because he was mentioned at the press. How many fucking players have an opinion and they don't get name checked at the press conference? And I agree with you guys that have said, isn't it weird how they've all gone in, you know, the clique, the ones that always defend FSG, have been telling us absolutely nothing to do with them, nothing to do with FSG. Jurgen's completely stressed out to fuck. Hey, the fuck do you think you're doing? Get out. Get the fuck down. He stood on the settee and then climbed up on a worktop where there's an open plan, like an oven and worktop kitchen area over there. Fucking cheeky little runt. That's my video restricted again. YouTube keep restricting my videos, so. Yeah, Jurgen Klopp stressed, had enough of the game. Absolutely nothing to do with FSG's ownership. Nothing. Not to do with it. Now to do, how many times have you, as a Liverpool supporter, under their ownership gone, how many times? How many times have you, ahead of transfer deadline day, yesterday gone, fucking point? Do you remember back in the day we used to buzz on transfer deadline day, that excitement, you know, well, maybe something will happen. Someone at Melwood, there's all the rumours. But now we're not so stupid, they're not going to fucking do anything. Yeah, there's been exceptions to the rule. But 9 times out of 10, we know they're not. So if we know now it's going to fucking happen, then the manager must go into a window, approach a window, must go like that. No fucking point. They're not going to back me. I can't stand them people. And John Henry and Tom Burner have still not commented. Anyway, I'll take me out after Jose Enrique. Okay, guys, it's 4:45 in the evening here. I'm sure I've got something else to. I've got. We'll have a live stream later tonight. It's going to be later tonight, I think. In the meantime, I think that's it with the videos. Done the podcast, done the videos. I think that's it. Tomorrow afternoon, I'm going for a pint tomorrow. I cannot wait. I have not left my house other than a dentist appointment this week. Since last weekend, I've left my house once just for a dentist. And tomorrow afternoon, 2:00 UK, I'm going for a drink with my Everton supporting friend and others. And I'm going to take it easy so I'm not too pissed for the stream tomorrow night, okay? We will be live on here tomorrow night. I'll come to something in a minute. We will be live on here tomorrow night. We will be streaming on our own server to stop having to restart. So I know it's a ball ache for some of you. If you don't know how to do it, ask in the stream chat tomorrow night. Read the video description of the video, right? And you just need to tinker a little bit. It is doable, right? Or if you've got two devices, that's even easier. But you should be able to go to the other side, pop out the video, drag it over the player, and you should be good. Plenty of people can manage it, so there's no reason why you shouldn't too. And if I can do it, you can do it. But if you're not sure, because people have different phones and devices, please just ask in the chat room, because it's very important. I hate the thought of someone not being able to take part in something that they want to take part in. Finally, it's a few days away, but it will be my mum's anniversary soon, so I might take that day off, maybe. Don't know why. I'm not the sort of person that sits around moping, but it's always one of them days where I'm, without even the intention of being, conscious of it, you just feel shit. So that'll be the 7th. I don't know, we'll see. What day does it fall on? I don't even know what day it's today. Is it a Friday? 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that's it. And also, my uncle is a massive Leeds United fan. Loves Liverpool as well. Great respect for Liverpool. He was taken into hospital in the last 24 hours with a suspected stroke or something, a mini stroke. Or I don't know. I don't understand. That's what they're thinking. He might have had a mini stroke or something. So he's currently in York Hospital. So I got the family messaging me about that at the minute. He's messaging me. He says, I won't quote what he said, but he's very angry. He's like, I want to be in this. I'm going to discharge myself. And I said to him, don't discharge yourself, because you might end up having to go back and being even longer. So just do as you're fucking told, basically. So it's been a bit of a hectic day. All right. I'm getting a message sent through to me, which looks promising. Red. And that's it. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the videos. We can't agree on everything. Stream tonight. Tomorrow morning, I do Dunk's meat. All right, because on a Saturday morning, I always go to Butcher's. I go down on my scooter in there. You know what I mean? Get myself some meat for the week. Get some bones for Emmy. So if you do it the love art today, the super thanks on this video today, you will get a shout out on Dunk's meat. I mean, come on, you and my mate. You know what I'm saying? Please thumbs up the video to show your appreciation. I mean, thousands of people watch my videos and they're that fucking bone idle. They don't even do that. Do you know what I mean? They're the casual viewers out there. We don't like them. I don't like the casual viewers, nosy fuckers. But please leave a comment. What are you thinking now? It's a week later, what are you thinking? Are you going to give Jose Enrique a bit of love, think, yeah, do you know what? Mad bastard might be right. I'll take my hat off to him. All right, guys, listen, you have a great weekend if I don't see you again. And take care, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday, if not before. Well, we'll be streaming tomorrow nightly. All right, guys, love you. Speak to you soon.